Omar was a hard-working child who had excelled in school, making his grandfather very proud. As a reward, his grandfather decided to give Omar a special treat. When they talked, his grandfather told him he had planned a trip to the zoo, knowing how much Omar loved animals. Omar was overjoyed and jumped around in excitement. He rushed to his room to prepare everything he would need for the next day's adventure. The next morning, Omar woke up, performed his prayers, and eagerly went to his grandfather so they could start their journey. As they arrived at the zoo, the first thing Omar saw was the elephant. His grandfather said, "Omar, do you see how big the elephant is? And look at its long trunk." Omar replied, "Yes, Grandpa. I see it. I love elephants. But why does it have such a long trunk?" His grandfather explained, "It uses its long trunk to drink water and to grab food from the trees." They moved on to the next part of the zoo and stopped by the giraffe enclosure. Omar asked, "Grandpa, why does the giraffe have such a long neck?" His grandfather replied, "The giraffe has a long neck so it can reach the branches of tall trees to eat its food. And don't you think it looks beautiful with those spots covering its body?" As they continued their tour, they stopped at another cage, where his grandfather asked, "Do you see this colorful bird, Omar? Do you know its name?" Omar smiled and said, "Of course, Grandpa. It's a parrot, and it's great at mimicking sounds." Their next stop was the penguin pool. Omar was curious and asked, "Grandpa, where do penguins live?" His grandfather answered, "Penguins live in the cold regions near the poles. They don't fly, but they're excellent swimmers. And look at the way they waddle when they walk, it's so cute." Right next to the penguin pool was a dolphin tank. Omar exclaimed excitedly, "Look, Grandpa. It's a dolphin, and it's so beautiful." His grandfather nodded, "Yes, that's a dolphin. They're very intelligent and quick learners. They love to play just like children, and their natural home is the sea." As they continued walking, Omar heard loud noises. Before they even reached the next enclosure, Omar knew what it was: monkeys. When they arrived, he shouted, "It's the monkeys, Grandpa. They're so fast as they swing between the trees, and they have long tails." His grandfather agreed, "Yes, and their tails help them hold onto branches as they gather food." Next, they stopped at the bear cage. Omar felt a bit nervous and didn't want to get too close. But his grandfather reassured him. "Don't worry, Omar. The bear is safely in its cage." Bears are known for being very lazy, especially during the winter when they sleep a lot. But look at its beautiful fur. Finally, they arrived at the last stop, the lion's enclosure. His grandfather told him, "Omar, the lion is very strong and has a mighty roar that scares all the other animals. But did you know that it's the lioness, the female lion, that does the hunting? The male lion usually eats what she catches.